Good evening. Happy Sunday. I'm going to read a scripture that the Holy Spirit guided me to read earlier this afternoon from the book of Ezekiel. I'm going to start at chapter 6 of Ezekiel and read all the way through chapter 11. And the word of Jehovah continued to occur to me, saying, Son of man, set your face toward the mountains of Israel and prophesy to them. And you must say, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord Jehovah. This is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said to the mountains and to the hills, to the stream beds and to the valleys. Here I am. I am bringing upon you a sword, and I shall certainly destroy your high places. And your altars must be made desolate, and your incense stands must be broken. And I will cause your slain ones to fall before your dungy idols. And I will put the carcasses of the sons of Israel before their dungy idols. And I will scatter your bones all around your altars, and all your dwelling places, the very cities, will become devastated. And the high places themselves will become desolated, in order that they may lie devastated, and your altars may lie desolated, and be actually broken, and your dungy idols may be actually made to cease, and your incense stands cut down, and your works wiped out. And the slain one will certainly fall in the midst of you, and you will have to know that I am Jehovah. And when it occurs, I will let you have as a remnant the ones escaping from the sword among the nations, and when you get scattered among the lands. And your escaped ones will certainly remember me among the nations to which they will be taken captive, because I have been broken up at their fornicating heart that has turned aside from me, and at their eyes that are going in fornication after their dungy idols. And they will certainly feel a loathing in their faces at the bad things that they have done in all their detestable things. And they will have to know that I am Jehovah. Not in vain did I speak about doing to them this calamitous thing. This is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said. Clap your hands and stamp with your foot and say, Alas, on account of all the bad detestable things of the house of Israel, because by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence they will fall. As for the one far away, by the pestilence he will die. And as for the one that is nearby, by the sword he will fall. And as for the one that has been left remaining, and that has been safeguarded, by the famine he will die. And I will bring to its finish my rage against them. And you people will have to know that I am Jehovah, when their slain ones come to be in the midst of their dungy idols, all around their altars, upon every high hill, on all the tops of the mountains, and under every luxuriant tree, and under every branchy big tree, the place where they have offered a restful odor to all their dungy idols. And I will stretch out my hand against them, and make the land a desolate waste, even a desolation worse than the wilderness toward Diblah and all their dwelling places, and they will have to know that I am Jehovah. Chapter 7. And the word of Jehovah continued to occur to me, saying, And as for you, O son of man, this is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said to the soil of Israel. An end, the end has come upon the four extremities of the land. Now the end is upon you, and I must send my anger against you, and I will judge you according to your ways, and bring upon you all your detestable things. And my eye will not feel sorry for you, neither will I feel compassion, for upon you I shall bring your own ways, and in the midst of you your own detestable things will come to be, and you people will have to know that I am Jehovah. This is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said. A calamity, a unique calamity. Look, it is coming. An end itself must come. The end must come. It must awaken for you. Look, it is coming. The garland must come to you, O inhabitor of the land. The time must come. The day is near. There is confusion, and not the shouting of the mountains. Now shortly I shall pour out my rage upon you. and I will bring my anger against you to its finish. And I will judge you according to your ways, and bring upon you all your detestable things. Neither will my eye feel sorry, nor shall I feel compassion. According to your ways shall I do the bringing upon you yourself, and your own detestable things will come to be right in the midst of you. And you people will have to know that I am Jehovah doing the smiting. Look, the day, look, it is coming. The garland has gone forth, the rod has blossomed. Presumptuousness has sprouted. Violence itself has risen up into a rod of wickedness. It is not from them, nor is it from their wealth, and it is not from their own selves, nor is there any eminency in them. The time must come, the day must arrive. As regards the buyer, let him not rejoice, and as regards the seller, let him not go into mourning, for there is hot feeling against all its crowd. For to what was sold the seller himself will not return, while their life is yet among the living ones. For the vision is for all its crowd, no one will return, and they will not possess themselves each one of his own life by his own error. They have blown the trumpet, and there has been a preparing of everybody, but there is no one going to the battle, because my hot feeling is against all its crowd. The sword is outside, and the pestilence and the famine are inside. Whoever is in the field, by the sword he will die, and whoever are in the city, famine and pestilence themselves will devour them. And their escapees will certainly make their escape, and become on the mountains like the doves of the valleys, all of which are moaning, each one in his own error. As for all the hands, they keep dropping down, and as for all knees, they keep dripping with water. And they have girded on sackcloth, and shuddering has covered them. And on all faces there is shame, and on all their heads there is baldness. Into the streets they will throw their very silver, and an abhorrent thing their own gold will become. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to deliver them in the day of Jehovah's fury. Their souls they will not satisfy, and their intestines they will not fill, for it has become a stumbling block, causing their error. And the decoration of one's ornament, one has set it as reason for pride, and their detestable images, their disgusting things, they have made with it. That is why I will make it to them an abhorrent thing. And I will give it into the hand of the strangers for plunder, and to the wicked ones of the earth for spoil, and they will certainly profane it. And I shall have to turn away my face from them, and they will actually profane my concealed place, and into it robbers will really come and profane it. Make the chain, for the land itself has become full of blood-stained judgment, and the city itself has become full of violence. And I will bring in the worst ones of the nations, and they will certainly take possession of their houses, and I will cause the pride of the strong ones to cease, and their sanctuaries must be profaned. There will come anguish, and they will certainly seek peace, but there will be none. There will come adversity upon adversity, and there will occur report upon report, and people will actually seek a vision from a prophet, and the law itself will perish from a priest, and counsel from elderly men. The king himself will go into mourning. Even a chieftain will clothe himself with desolation, and the very hands of the people of the land will get disturbed. According to their way I shall act toward them, and with their judgments I shall judge them, and they will have to know that I am Jehovah. Chapter 8. And it came about in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day of the month, that I was sitting in my house, and the older men of Judah were sitting before me, when the hand of the sovereign Lord Jehovah fell upon me there. And I began to see and look a likeness similar to the appearance of fire. From the appearance of his hips even downward there was fire, and from his hips even upward there was something like the appearance of a shining, like the glow of electrum. Then he thrust out the representation of a hand, and took me by a tuft of hair of my head, and a spirit carried me between the earth and the heavens, and brought me to Jerusalem in the visions of God, to the entrance of the inner gate, that is facing northward, where the dwelling place is of the symbol of jealousy that is inciting to jealousy. And look, the glory of the God of Israel was there, like the appearance that I had seen in the valley plain. And he proceeded to say to me, Son of man, please raise your eyes in the direction of the north. So I raised my eyes in the direction of the north, and look, to the north of the gate of the altar there was this symbol of jealousy in the entranceway. And he went on to say to me, Son of man, are you seeing what great detestable things they are doing? The things that the house of Israel are doing here for me to become far off from my sanctuary? And yet you will see again great detestable things. Accordingly, he brought me to the entrance of the courtyard, and I began to see, and look, a certain hole in the wall. He now said to me, Son of man, bore, please, through the wall. And I gradually bored through the wall, and look, there was a certain entrance. And he further said to me, Go in and see the bad, detestable things they are doing here. So I went in and began to see, and look, there was every representation of creeping things and loathsome beasts, and all the dungy idols of the house of Israel, the carving being upon the wall all round about. And 70 men of the elderly ones of the house of Israel, with Jazaniah the son of Shaphan standing, and among them were standing before them, each one with his censer in his hand. And the perfume of the cloud of the incense was ascending. And he proceeded to say to me, Have you seen, O son of man, what the elderly ones of the house of Israel are doing in the darkness, each one in the inner rooms of his showpiece? For they are saying, Jehovah is not seeing us. Jehovah has left the land. And he continued on to say to me, You will yet see again great detestable things that they are doing. So he brought me to the entrance of the gate of the house of Jehovah, which is toward the north. And look, there the women were sitting, weeping over the god Tammuz. And he further said to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? You will yet see again great detestable things worse than these. So he brought me into the inner courtyard of the house of Jehovah. And look, at the entrance of the temple of Jehovah, between the porch and the altar, there were about 25 men, with their backs to the temple of Jehovah and their faces to the east, and they were bowing down to the east, to the sun. And he went on to say to me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Is it such a light thing to the house of Judah to do the detestable things that they have done here, that they have to fill the land with violence, and that they should offend me again, and here they are thrusting out the shoot to my nose? And I myself also shall act in rage. My eye will not feel sorry, neither shall I feel compassion. And they will certainly call out in my ears with a loud voice, but I shall not hear them. Chapter 9. And he proceeded to call out in my ears with a loud voice, saying, Have those giving their attention to the city come near, each one with his weapon in his hand for bringing ruin. And look, there were 6 men coming from the direction of the upper gate that faces to the north, each one with his weapon for smashing in his hand. And there was one man in among them, clothed with linen, with a secretary's inkhorn at his hips. And they proceeded to come in and stand beside the copper altar. And as regards the glory of the God of Israel, it was taken up from over the cherubs, over which it happened to be to the threshold of the house. And he began calling out to the man that was clothed with the linen, at whose hips there was the secretary's inkhorn. And Jehovah went on to say to him, Pass through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and you must put a mark on the foreheads of the men that are sighing and groaning over all the detestable things that are being done in the midst of it. And to these others he said in my ears, Pass through the city after him and strike. Let not your eye feel sorry, and do not feel any compassion. Old man, young man, and virgin, and little child, and women you should kill off to a ruination. But to any man upon whom there is the mark, do not go near. And from my sanctuary you should start. So they started with the old men that were before the house. And he said further to them, Defile the house and fill the courtyards with the slain ones. Go forth. And they went forth and struck in the city. And it came about that while they were striking and I was left remaining, I proceeded to fall upon my face and cry out and say, Alas, O sovereign Lord Jehovah, are you bringing to ruin all the remaining ones of Israel while you are pouring out your rage upon Jerusalem? So he said to me, The error of the house of Israel and Judah is very, very great, and the land is filled with bloodshed, and the city is full of crookedness. For they have said, Jehovah has left the land, and Jehovah is not seeing. And as for me also, my eye will not feel sorry, neither shall I show compassion. Their way I shall certainly bring upon their own head. And look, the man clothed with the linen, at whose hips there was the inkhorn, was bringing back word, saying, I have done just as you have commanded me. Chapter 10. And I continued to see, and look, upon the expanse that was over the head of the cherubs, there was something like sapphire stone, like the appearance of the likeness of a throne, appearing above them. And he proceeded to say to the man clothed with the linen, even to say, Enter in between the wheelwork, in under the cherubs, and fill the hollows of both your hands with the coals of fire from between the cherubs, and toss them over the city. So he entered in before my eyes, and the cherubs were standing to the right of the house when the man entered, and the cloud was filling the inner courtyard, and the glory of Jehovah proceeded to rise up from the cherubs to the threshold of the house. And the house gradually became filled with the cloud, and the courtyard itself was full of the brightness of the glory of Jehovah. And the very sound of the wings of the cherubs made itself heard to the outer courtyard, like the sound of God Almighty when he speaks. And it came about, when he commanded the man clothed with the linen, saying, Take fire from between the wheelwork and between the cherubs, that he proceeded to enter and stand beside the wheel. Then the cherub thrust his hand out from between the cherubs to the fire that was between the cherubs, and carried and put it into the hollows of the hand of the one clothed with the linen, who now took it and went out. And there was seen belonging to the cherubs the representation of a hand of earthling man under their wings. And I continued to see and look. There were 4 wheels beside the cherubs, 1 wheel beside the one cherub, and 1 wheel beside the other cherub. And the appearance of the wheels was like the glow of chrysolite stone. And as for their appearance, the 4 of them had one likeness, just as when a wheel proves to be in the midst of a wheel. When they would go to their 4 sides they would go. They would not change direction when they went, because the place to which the head would face, after it they would go. They would not change direction when they went. And all their flesh and their backs and their hands and their wings and the wheels were full of eyes all around. The 4 of them had their wheels. As regards the wheels, to them it was called out in my ears, O wheelwork. And each one had 4 faces. The first face was the face of the cherub, and the second face was the face of earthling man, and the third was the face of a lion, and the 4th was the face of an eagle. And the cherubs would rise. It was the same living creature that I had seen at the river Kabar. And when the cherubs went, the wheels would go alongside them. And when the cherubs lifted up their wings to be high above the earth, the wheels would not change direction, even they themselves from alongside them. When these stood still, they would stand still, and when these rose, they would rise with them, for the spirit of the living creature was in them. And the glory of Jehovah proceeded to go forth from over the threshold of the house, and to stand still over the cherubs. And the cherubs now lifted up their wings and rose from the earth before my eyes. When they went forth, the wheels also were close alongside them, and they began standing at the eastern entrance of the gate of the house of Jehovah, and the glory of the God of Israel was over them from above. This is the living creature that I had seen under the God of Israel at the river Chebar, so that I came to know that they were cherubs. As for the four, each one had 4 faces, and each one had 4 wings, and the likeness of the hands of earthling man was under their wings. And as for the likeness of their faces, they were the faces the appearance of which I had seen by the river Chebar, the very ones. They would go each one straight forward. Chapter 11. And a spirit proceeded to lift me up and bring me to the eastern gate of the house of Jehovah that is facing eastward. And look, at the entrance of the gate there were 25 men. And I got to see in the midst of them Jaazaniah the son of Azur, and Pelatiah the son of Benaiah, princes of the people. Then he said to me, Son of man, these are the men that are scheming hurtfulness and advising bad counsel against this city, that are saying, Is not the building of houses close at hand? She is the wide-mouthed cooking pot, and we are the flesh. Therefore prophesy against them, prophesy, O Son of man. Then the Spirit of Jehovah fell upon me, and he went on to say to me, Say, this is what Jehovah has said. You people said the right thing, O house of Israel, and as regards the thing that come up in your spirit, I myself have known it. You have caused your slain ones in this city to be many, and you have filled her streets with the slain ones. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said. As regards your slain ones, whom you people have put in the midst of her, they are the flesh, and she is the wide-mouthed cooking pot. And there will be a bringing forth of you yourselves out of the midst of her. A sword you have feared, and a sword I shall bring upon you, is the utterance of the sovereign Lord Jehovah. And I shall certainly bring you forth out of the midst of her, and give you into the hands of strangers, and execute upon you acts of judgment. By the sword you will fall. On the border of Israel I shall judge you people. And you will have to know that I am Jehovah. She herself will not prove to be for you a wide-mouthed cooking pot, and you yourselves will not prove to be flesh in the midst of her. On the border of Israel I shall judge you. And you will have to know that I am Jehovah, because in my regulations you did not walk, and my judgments you did not do, but according to the judgments of the nations that are round about you, you have done. And it came about that as soon as I prophesied, Pelatiah the son of Benaiah himself died. And I proceeded to fall upon my face and cry with a loud voice and say, Alas, O sovereign Lord Jehovah! Is it an extermination that you are executing with the remaining ones of Israel? And the word of Jehovah continued to occur to me, saying, Son of man, as regards your brothers, the men concerned with your right to repurchase, and all the house of Israel, all of it, are the ones to whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get far away from Jehovah, to us it belongs. The land has been given us as a thing to possess. Therefore say, This is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said. Although I have put them far away among the nations, and although I have scattered them among the lands, yet I shall become to them a sanctuary for a little while among the lands to which they have come. Therefore say, This is what the sovereign Lord Jehovah has said. I will also collect you from the peoples, and gather you from the lands among which you have been scattered. And I will give you the soil of Israel. And they will certainly come there and remove all its disgusting things and all its detestable things out of it. And I will give them one heart, and a new spirit I shall put inside them. And I shall certainly remove the heart of stone from their flesh, and give them a heart of flesh, in order that they may walk in my own statutes and keep my own judicial decisions and actually carry them out. And they may really become my people, and I myself may become their God. But as for those whose heart is walking in their disgusting things and their detestable things, upon their head I shall certainly bring their own way, is the utterance of the sovereign Lord Jehovah. And the cherubs now lifted up their wings, and the wheels were close by them, and the glory of the God of Israel was over them from above. And the glory of Jehovah went ascending from over the midst of the city, and began to stand over the mountain that is to the east of the city. And the Spirit itself lifted me up, and finally brought me to Chaldea, to the exiled people, in the vision by the Spirit of God. And the vision that I had seen went ascending from upon me. And I began to speak to the exiled people all the things of Jehovah that he had caused me to see.